Welcome to IDEAtv. This is The Stage, and I'm with Nijinaji. I'm hosting an amazing social entrepreneur, Akampa Rugaba, the founder of Youth Advocacy Foundation Uganda.
Yeah, right.
How is it called? YAFU something?
Youth Advocacy Foundation Uganda. YAFU.
YAFU.
Yeah.
What's with the G at the end when you go into the website?
The G is YAFUG. That's our domain. www.yafug.ug.
Okay, so you're addressing a lot of issues on the youth. Like, why? What's going on? Why go for advocacy of all things?
Yeah, when it comes to youth, yes, statistics show that we are the numbers, we are the brains.
Yeah, about 80%.
Yes, we are the numbers. Yeah, 80 something, 86%, and we are the numbers, but at the same time the brains. And so it's an ocean. Uganda is an ocean of young talents, or a demography of young people who need a voice by and with young people. So that's why we came up with Youth Advocacy Foundation.
I'm kind of thinking like now we kind of have to move away from creating a voice for the youth for them to be the voice.
Yep.
How do you balance the two where you have to create a voice and then them to be the voice?
It all comes back to young people for young people, because there aren't other people who can understand the challenges of young people, if not young people themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how we came up with a Youth Advocacy Foundation.
Okay, now that you've mentioned young people for young people, I want to get you back to Rahul. You know the Rahul Foundation. What makes you different from Rahul? Because they're also taking young people for young people. So what makes you different from YAFU and Rahul?
Yeah, actually we all, Humphrey, who started Rahul,
yes.
We were together. We are products of a program that looked at sexual reproductive health and rights. That was World Starts With Me, back then when we were in high school. Then Rahul does health. It concentrates on sexual reproductive health and rights.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, we are looking at employment.
Okay.
Employment, that's our area of focus. Yes, in that we have majority of young people in Uganda who are not employed, but at the same time they are looking at, it's a blame game, lamenting, the government has not helped us, our parents are not doing enough.
Which is pretty much true, highest percentage is pretty much true.
Not really. At times we have tended to neglect the role we have to play, even the responsibilities that we have as young people. Okay. So that's why YAFU is there to say, let's look at what roles do we play and what are our responsibilities as young people and who do we need to work with to see that our issues are looked at. Okay,
so we were stalking you on social media, and then you keep on saying all the time, the warning hope. You're addressing continuous warning hope among the youth, like they're hopeless, kind of.
Yes, you see, Uganda has a youngest population, or the youth. Well, let's look at them as youth, who are the hopeless hope.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, it's true. They're the hopeless hope, and 3 years, 4 years back, 5 years back, it was worse, whereby majority would lament. Majority of the young people who are supposed to even speak for the young people.
Where were you falling?
No, me, I was always somewhere doing something.
They always say when you get frustrated, you set up something so that can solve whatever you're frustrated with. So
mine was not out of frustration, but it was the passion, out of passion. I grew up in a family of my uncle, and I never looked at I never even took a glance at any of my parents. I don't know my parents. I used to call my uncle, my dad, my mom, my uncle's wife, my mom, not knowing that my parents had passed on. And so when I was young, growing up in a bigger family with the rest of the kids who had their parents, there were some challenges here and there. And of course, it was not a bed of roses when I was young.
So did that kind of, do you believe that kind of helped you try to see the world differently or move to the next step? Yeah,
it shaped and it nurtured me, I should say. It gave me a picture of what life is at an early age, at a tender age. Even when I was in primary 7, I would I would work. I used to work. I used to trade airtime. Airtime in those early days in Kampala, when I had come to Kampala. And so I realized at an early age that life owes me nothing, but I own the life, and I can create a difference in other people's lives.
So is that where your slogan that you have, which says hooks are far better than fish?
Yeah,
Does it come
sure.
from there?
Yeah, sure. Whereby that's where it comes from. Whereby you look at young people who are given handouts, you know, 100,000, 150, 10K to just go on streets and make noise, 5,000.
Who's paying those people?
They're being paid by different. Actually, there's
something very interesting about that.
They are used. They are taken advantage of, especially by the politicians, the so-called politicians.
Have you been in that situation before?
Me being bought? Not
Or
really.
tried?
But I've seen young people. I've seen my peers being bought cheaply, and yet they have a valid issue that if they had decided to stick to that point or to the issue, then their voices would be heard. But they would be given some small handouts and they quit. They forget the issue that they were pushing forward, which was supposed to bring solutions to the problems or the challenges that young people are facing in Uganda. And so most of them have lived to see their issues being neglected, not getting answers, not getting solutions, and there have been young people have lost the value, that a young person should be proud of, should believe in the potential, the energy, and even believing in the numbers that we have. So our numbers at the moment, 5 years, 6 years ago, 4 years, our numbers were useless, more useless.
Okay, so now I'm trying to find out, as YAFU, because you advocate for these people.
Yeah, sure.
Advocacy is more of you giving them, you being the voice for them.
Yeah, sure.
Which I'm trying to understand how do you carry out advocacy for these people? How do you do it at YAFU?
Actually, we would not want to be a voice for them, but we would want to be a voice with them.
And how do you do that?
How do we do this? We engage different, like for instance, the policymakers on issues to do with programming for young people.
Okay.
Allocations. How do we get to see more programs?
Is that a bit practical?
For young people. Yeah, it's practical, continuous engagement. It's practical. When you engage more, the more you engage, then the more you come together, work collectively, then the more your voices or the voice is amplified. But the moment we stay scattered, in doing different things, then our voices will not be heard, our voice will not be heard, but at the same time, we will achieve less. Okay,
so I'm trying to understand, you get these people into a community together, let's say an event, is it a workshop, training field, and then what happens?
What happens, like for instance, if we were to engage policymakers, we would look at the committee of parliament that we would want to pass through our issue, the issue that we had. If it's an issue to do with education, and either we want the curriculum reviewed, then we would look at the committee in parliament that works on education, the committee of parliament on education. Then we engage them, but at the same time engage the Ministry of Education and Sports to see that the challenge here, that why we're having rampant unemployment or the unemployment scourge, is that the education system we are having, the curriculum, does not cater for the modern day.
This can call for a whole debate onto that, but trying to understand what YAFU exactly does. You carry out communities, mostly known on our social media, when most people were talking about how many times you've set up events for them, created people to come. How does that even help?
Yes, it helps in terms of the issue we are trying to push forward. Like for instance, now we are looking at informing, shaping the implementation of Sustainable Development Goals, but looking at where we failed as Uganda, as a country, in the Millennium Development Goals. So we want to look at what is the role of young people in the SDGs. since they are the majority, and actually the sustainable development goals are meant for young people. They're the ones supposed to implement, they're the ones supposed to even account